Hey guys, I praise God that that I have that we have a first contender to the challenge. Of course, the challenge, as you can see, is to prove atheism. And in this challenge, one can wear zeitgeist, one can wear textual criticism, one can in the midst or at the end or beginning or the middle, depending on what you want to do, you can ask me questions and weigh up the main points against Christianity. So let's get that covered. And hopefully, people watch this. Hopefully, this gets spread abroad, and people see this debate. I'm going to go ahead and put the link. This is not an open panel with any who wants to come on as well. So I'm going to take out that one video of this. So Mr. Blaster already has subscribed to my channel. Hopefully hit the bell. And of course I'm live right now. Hopefully once he views this, I'll put the link in the chat box. Hopefully this will be a spark to other atheists. I want you to see this debate, and if you think you can do better than him, then go ahead and come on. I would take on more. I don't be arrogant about it, but I don't want to sound arrogant. But I would let 3 or 4, if you can control your profanity, more than one person can come on and discuss, as long as we can keep it civil. I'm gonna go ahead and put the link below. Hopefully he's here so I can go ahead and get started. It's not like I'm arrogant. It's like, you gotta resist arrogance. You gotta resist this. Gotta resist pride. So I think if you should know me and know how I'm very serious about sin, you should know that I'm serious about pride. I think if you should know me and know how I'm very serious about sin, you should know that I'm serious about pride. I think if you should know me, now know how I'm very serious. This is also open for any other atheist that wants to come on, unless he doesn't want that. It all depends on the debater, whether he wants somebody else to come on, and here we go. You can give your
Hey, can you hear me?
Speak again.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Cool.
You want to give your opening statement, or you want me to?
Oh, I didn't know I was here to debate. I was just trying to ask you some questions on your your page there and trying to get a clarification of why you actually believe. That's all I wanted to know. I wasn't here to debate. I didn't realize that that's what you wanted me to take your challenge. Because I was just trying to ask you a question and you didn't want to clarify it on text, I thought.
I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, sorry. I don't mean. I mean, I'm not. I mean, I can discuss things with you. I don't. I'm not really into like. I'm not going to sit here and make a formal debate with you, though. That seems kind of silly, don't you? You know what I mean?
No, basically, what my point is, take on the big atheist on YouTube, and
Yeah. Well, you kind of have to become big yourself, don't you think? Like, why would they? Why do you think? Why should they even acknowledge that you exist?
I'll give you an example. I don't know how many subscribers William Mecca had, but Essence of Thought took on William Mecca. William Mecca did not know what I know, but he was still he's somebody who I knew personally before
Well,
we.
it's fine. You should make response videos then or something, and then grow your channel.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
I know you got some people who are giving you some criticism already.
Yeah, Essence of Thought already lost the day with me in the comment section.
Oh yeah, he commented on one of your videos.
Essence of Thought. He brought up an emotional argument about numbers and the slavery thing, which I've already replied to on a recent video. You know, responding to another video that Christianity is to enslave black people, basically, since religion is to enslave people.
Well, I mean, it was definitely kind of used that way. It was used as a justification for that, I would say.
When someone uses it for money and for power, yeah.
I mean, it's the big book of multiple choice, isn't it?
You can use the law. You can use the criteria, the concept.
Bray, is that your name, Bray?
Yeah.
Okay, my name's Ryan.
Hey, Ryan.
Hey, so here's my question for you, dude. So you were saying, like, on your on your last video, you were saying that like you believed in a God because you feel that your life has changed since you became reborn. Would that be correct?
I want to clarify. I was a professing Christian my whole life, but I was a hypocrite, and I didn't know God, didn't know the Bible. Like a lot of Christians, they don't know the Bible. They don't know. They just live in the emotions. But I came across truth, and I didn't expect it because the truth I came across was like talking like being chosen and all that. I didn't expect what happened.
What do you mean?
I was
What do you mean the truth? What do you mean? What makes something true? What would you say?
Well,
like, what? How would you define the truth? Like, what's true? How would you define that word?
The truth is something that's absolute, something you can know for certain, which atheism would deny. But I can make a point.
Can we know anything with 100% certainty?
Well,
I mean, we have the problem of like solipsism and stuff like that, right?
Yeah. That's basically one of my when I'm planning on an attack, I'm going to prove that an atheist can't know anything. I already had.
Well, that's clearly false. I mean, I can know lots of things. I can demonstrate that I know lots of things.
Okay, but how do you okay, that goes into discussion about epistemology.
I can demonstrate that I know things by my actions and how they work. For instance, I'm a cook, right? I work at a restaurant. I can cook food. I don't get food sent back to me in the kitchen because my food goes out correctly. I have the knowledge and the basic knowledge of how to cook food properly. And I can demonstrate that by how the restaurant runs that I work at.
And this is when the debate goes, is that how do you know that everything you know is just a process, just a product of the computerized matrix?
Well, we can test it. We can test it in a what are you saying? Sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing.
It's basically the argument is epistemology.
Yeah, I study epistemology. Have you ever seen Anthony Magnabosco's channel?
No, but I came across this kind of when I'm using.
Have you ever heard of street epistemology?
No, I learned about I first came across philosophy by like Jeff Durbin. Ever since that, I've taken off, and I understand fallacies. I can use them, and
Yeah.
but, like I
It's
heard
always
names of
interesting when you
fallacies. But
discover how you've been thinking incorrectly. You're like, oh, this, I was wrong.
you can say I've actually admitted I'm actually honest. I've actually admitted in a debate that I've used a fallacy. Let's see how many.
Pretty good.
Let,
That's
let's see.
pretty honest.
Let's see how many atheists will come on and say, "Yeah, I just
Well,
used."
I think most honest people would. You know, I mean, sure, there's people that lie on both sides, right? But I think generally atheists like to be corrected, especially like in the skeptic community. Not always. Some of them get butthurt if you correct them. You know.
Got one of the one person I probably would never. I want to debate scholar fiction. Scholar, scholar fiction. I debated him. We had a brief
I think
interaction.
I remember that video. I think I
Yeah,
remember watching that.
we had a brief interaction, and he thought I was just amateur and naive.
Yeah, he thought you were kind of silly.
When when honestly, logically, if I'm gonna uphold the Bible, I'm gonna defend it, and I'm not gonna just back out because someone mentioned an objection. You have to think logically. Now, if I defended the Bible with logic and with reasoning. I would debunked things with philosophy. I don't
So
just.
let me ask you this: how confident are you that the God of the Bible exists? Like on a scale of 0 to 100.
I would say probably. It's not like intellectual. I know that he exists by revelation. I didn't come across philosophy and apologetics till like
So how confident are you that that revelation is true and accurate? Then, like, could you be mistaken?
um I can be mistaken on doctrines I believed. I mean I've been rebuked, corrected on things I
You
believe.
could be mistaken about scientific things. Is what you're saying?
Basic. I have already confirmed. I've already
I'm asking about the God belief, though. Like, could you be mistaken on that?
no. And plus, I've already came across what you can come across. I've already I know somebody that converted from New Age to Christianity,
So,
and
so
he gave me a good taste of how intelligent he was and how good he can give me run for my money. He was a New Ager. He was
well, I guess what I'm getting at is, I'm asking you, is there anything that would change your mind? Like, because it sounds like you're holding this position that's kind of immutable. Like, you're convinced that it's true no matter what, right? Like, I don't know what would convince you otherwise.
well. Okay, here, let me give you an example. There's some things that we can hold as truth, and we're not like. What if I told you this wasn't a phone? What if I told you? What if I told you
It
this
could
was?
be a prop for all I know.
What if I told you this was an iPhone?
An iPhone? Yeah, I probably wouldn't believe you.
See, and I'm not gonna believe you if you tell me this is an iPhone because I know this is a ZTE. I can see when you can see it's a ZTE. I'm not going to believe you if you tell me this is Verizon when I know it's AT&T. It's not up for discussion whether this is an iPhone.
Sure.
See, I hold a worldview which I can hold absolute certainty, and because I hold a revelational epistemology, the only way to know something with absolute certainty is either to know all things, because you could be wrong about the things
Okay,
you do know, which means that you didn't really know anything.
but here's the thing, dude. Let me stop you for just a sec. When you say that you know this for with basically you're saying 100% certainty, right?
Yeah.
You were just talking about how you really value people when they're willing to admit when they're wrong or change their position if they're mistaken about something, right?
I've changed my position in the past about
I
why.
just don't understand why you wouldn't leave room for self-correction at all.
Because I demonstrated to you. There's certain things that I can hold as truth, and plus, I already came across a lot of what's out there. I came across the idea of aliens, the New Age, the eternal universe, and all these things that I can refute. I can refute the eternal universe. I can refute deism. I've debated a deist online. I know how to. So if I wasn't all based on my intellect, which is my.
Well, you sound pretty confident, but I mean, it just makes me wonder if maybe you're, maybe kind of deluding yourself a little bit.
Okay, how confident are you that we're talking on Google Hangouts?
I'm pretty confident. I mean, I can ask my roommate here. He knows he can see me doing it at the same time. I'm pretty sure this is Google Hangout. It says Hangout Google's right on top .com. So yeah.
How confident are you that you have a phone?
That what?
You have a phone.
That I'm a phone?
No, that you have a phone. How confident are you that you have a cell phone?
Well, I have a cell phone. Sure.
Are you
I'm on
confident?
my computer right now.
What would you be would you be willing to admit correction that you don't have a laptop at all?
If I didn't,
No,
I don't have a laptop. I have a PC.
you get the point.
No,
Yeah.
so no, okay, yeah. Okay. Look, I see what you're saying. But can you how did you evaluate this position?
I
How did
didn't
you
come.
evaluate your experience? Like,
I
how did
didn't.
you evaluate this revelation, is what I'm saying. So
It
you're,
was just,
you're saying you know this. How do you know it?
okay, let me explain to you. So, my basis of what I know is based on revelation. My basis in
Yeah.
communicating with you guys, what I know is philosophy, history, and apologetics. That's my basis. I can't really communicate a revelation, a spiritual revelation to people, and unless they
Well,
have.
no, I'm not asking you to communicate to me. I'm asking how did you yourself evaluate it?
Um,
Like,
I
how did you? So look. If I have, let's say I have some weird dream about a god, you know, maybe it was just like a daydream too. Maybe I was awake while it happened. I heard some voice of something talking to me. How do I evaluate that?
You evaluate that through reason
Yeah.
and through what can be
So
known.
what gets you to, what I'm asking is, what are the steps that you go through to receive this revelation? Like, okay, can you give me an example?
It just happened. Basically, I came across repentance, and I dropped some sins of mine. I dropped playing video games is not necessarily a sin penalty.
So you had a change of heart, right? So to speak. And you changed some behaviors, and
Basically,
it benefited you.
I had a repentance, a turning away from some things, and I'm still in the process of, repentance is not just a one-time thing.
Let me ask you this. If someone came to you and they said, "Look, I went to Ganesh and I realized that I was making mistakes, and Ganesh helped me relieve myself of these problems that I have, the behavioral problems. I changed my behavior after I went to Ganesh and prayed to him." Would that be a good reason? Do you think that would be a good reason for them to believe in Hinduism?
No, we have to.
Okay.
See, okay. Okay, I only understand this.
You see what I'm saying?
I want
You're
you.
saying the same thing.
I want you to understand. This is where it sounds foolish to the world, but this is how I'm gonna communicate with it. My Christianity is not an intellectual sin. It's a
Yeah,
revelation. it's a revelation in which I cannot really communicate. Only thing I can't really tell you that I really analyzed.
If someone said they had a revelation of a different god, such as Ganesh or whatever,
and that's when
would that be a good reason for them to believe in that god?
But that's when the truth comes in. My God, my revelation, as far as I have seen, is lining up with the truth. I've heard Bar Ehrman, I've heard New Age stuff, I've heard some zeitgeist. So I'm aware of the counter objections, and so far as what I've heard has been pretty stupid. You have a better time contending with me if you were like a really intellectual New Ager.
Well, what I'm saying is, you're saying that you think you have good reasons to believe in things, but when I apply those same reasons to other beliefs other than your own, you say those aren't good reasons to believe it.
Okay? I guess.
So I'm understanding it seems like you're holding a double standard.
Okay, let me explain. No, my basis is revelation, but if my revelation was incorrect, it would contradict actuality. But I don't
determine if your revelation was incorrect or not.
I don't hold my revelation with I don't hold my belief with my intellect, but I can defend it like I could with you.
Well, do you have a method or a way to determine if your revelation is correct or not? Like true.
Through philosophy, history.
Well, what if a Hindu says the same thing about their revelation?
I've debated a Hindu.
Yeah, I'm not saying you haven't, but what if they say the same thing, make the same argument? Who's correct? How do we tell who's correct?
I would examine
from an outsider's perspective. Let's say I'm the outside. You're saying I have revelation and Jesus is true. Hindu is saying I have revelation, Ganesh is true. How do we test those positions, those revelations, to determine whose belief is actually true or not?
That's one. I'm apologetic, so I can answer. I can think of philosophy, history. So how we examine if my revelation is correct is through history, philosophy, and those kind of things. Is to examine whether my historical claims or philosophical claims are actually true. And so far, I have only met one atheist who was the only one that really gave me a run for my money, and I couldn't be loud because I still live in my parents' house even though I'm 19. I did got out of high school recently last May, but so I can't be loud, so I couldn't be loud and communicate all my points to him. I had to be quiet. But if I were to communicate all my points to him, it would have been a better debate. But even he wasn't getting it. I was thinking on philosophy, and he was using philosophy, but he didn't get my point. He didn't get it. When I touched on his morality, he didn't get it.
I guess it's just, to me, as an outsider, I hear you making claims of revelation. I hear other people making claims of revelation, of different beliefs than your own. And I just wonder how even you guys evaluate whose beliefs are true, because they can't all be true, right?
Yeah, that's why we have discussions. I have videos. I do philosophy, history. So I can
Would you agree that we don't really have a way to test that?
No, we have ways. That's why
we have ways, but it seems like,
for example, if
the Hindu does the same thing that you're doing, I'm testing my belief through history and faith. And guess what? Hinduism's a lot older than Christianity.
Well, that
has a lot more history.
that's an assumption that they make, which
It's not an assumption.
if you you're subscribed to my channel. If you want to see, that was brought up to me. If you want to see, I already knew that.
To me, it just seems like there's no way to actually determine if these revelations are true or not. People have these experiences. They seem to always, for some reason, correlate with their beliefs in the first place, or at least part of their culture's beliefs. You know, almost always, that's almost always the case.
Trust me, my mom, even though she claims even though she knows the truth, as in, like, given the scripture, my mom, my family doesn't want to follow this. They don't want to follow the Bible because they love the sin. So trust me, society doesn't like this. And you see in the media,
I don't believe in sin, so it's silly to say that. Like to someone like me, it's like, oh, you just want to say no, dude.
No, I'm just not talking about, like, my mom.
Like, okay, your mom.
My mom. It's not like I wasn't raised in this. I was raised in hypocritical. I wasn't raised.
I was raised growing up listening to people like Ken Ham and William Lane Craig and Kent Hovind, all in person at the local church I went to. All those people came to my church. I grew up listening to all of these apologists, all the major apologists. I've seen them in person.
So let me ask you a question.
Sure.
What is an objection you have that you'd want to answer?
Well, I would say for you, I was very much like you, right? I was in a position where I felt I had like some sort of spiritual revelation, right? But what happened was I realized that I didn't really have I started questioning things and I realized that I started being more honest with myself, I think. And I realized that I didn't really have a way to test these experiences that I had to determine if they were just like products of my mind or, whatever, something like that. And once I realized that, I had no choice but to just kind of discard my beliefs, I didn't have good reasons. I realized I didn't have good reasons. What I thought were good reasons weren't. That's it in a nutshell.
Well, let me address
that. It's a slow process.
Let me address that with logic. Let's say I say that we have a big spaceship up in space, right?
Uh-huh.
I don't really at the time have a lot of evidence to show you that. Does that totally disqualify that concept, that reality?
That we have a big spaceship?
So those things within history that we did not have all the answers to, that we got it over time.
But here's a better way of asking. Here's a better question, I think. Let's say, would you believe me if I knew a guy that had a pair of glasses and he was a reporter and he had a girlfriend? Would you believe me if I said a person like that existed?
It's logical that a person has existed with glasses and with
a news reporter. Now, you'd say that's logical. It makes sense. Yeah, we could probably accept that there's probably a person out there with a news reporter with glasses that has a girlfriend, right? Yeah, we can accept that. So now, let's say that his name is Clark Kent, and he can burn steel with his eyes, and he can fly.
well. Here's the logical issue. The old fallacy people use, Barnum uses the old fallacy to discredit miracle or supernatural things. The fallacy is, since it doesn't happen that often, thus it never.
I'm just trying to say the evidence, the belief should, look, we wouldn't need that much evidence to believe, except that a news reporter exists, right? As a girlfriend. But when you say it's Superman, that changes everything.
Well, if you take
evidence, don't you? At that point?
Yeah, I would want evidence, but I wouldn't disqualify the existence of a Superman, given it's possible.
Do you think anything's possible?
A lot of things are possible. I mean, I mean,
Would you agree that things are limited to the laws of physics and whatnot?
things are
Like,
limited.
as Aaron Ross says, a cow cannot jump over the moon, literally.
Well, according to him, maybe if the cow evolves to the wings, maybe here.
No. A cow can anything with wings can't leave the atmosphere. You know that.
Maybe I mean we could go further with that, but yeah those kind of limitations. I mean, just like I can prove there's no such thing as a
So
time.
some things are impossible.
Yeah, some things are possible, but a God to be real. I was wanting to. I commented on wanting to talk
Yeah.
with him.
I know you commented in your video that you wanted to challenge him. He won't. He's gonna ignore you probably.
Actually, he said of course the first time.
He said, "Oh,
And then when I commented again, he didn't answer.
you got to get a better mic, man. Get a headset or something."
I actually have a mic, but it wasn't working, so I might have to. I might have to get a new one.
Yeah, or a headset.
So, so guys that want to criticize me on my mic,
You're like, I tried. There was an attempt.
I have one right here, but it wasn't. I couldn't. I haven't got it to work yet. I plugged it in. I turned it on. Now
I know we got to get you so that you don't point your camera at the light, too.
Yes, I'll try to.
It's all right, dude. I'm just giving you a hard time.
I think Essence of Fraud should just come on here.
I think you seem like a nice kid, Bray, and you know, I think we could probably do this again, have a little chat or whatever here and there. You know what I mean? I enjoy this kind of conversations.
And here, any objections philosophically, historically, logically that you have, you can comment under a video on the Q&A, and I'll answer your.
I think I made my objections here, especially to your like revelation claims. I don't see how you could evaluate them.
Now, I could, if I wanted to base my evaluation on intellect, I could evaluate you in philosophy. I can use my reasoning. I can reason through the eternal universe. I can reason. I can. If I want.
Great. If you don't think that people using revelation for their other religions other than your own is a good way to come to their beliefs, then why is that a good reason for you to come to your position?
Because I can refute their position.
Oh yeah, but they think they can refute yours too. Do you see that there's like this disconnect? Like, do you see what I'm saying? I think you have there's like a block. There's like these blinders, and they're like, I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it.
A big point is that come challenge any Hindu, any New Ager, and I take on.
I can't even talk to them because they're just snowflakes. You know that. They run away crying immediately as soon as you question their beliefs at all.
I haven't had really a lot of people really challenge me.
Well, I've been around a long time on YouTube and whatnot, and I have definitely challenged plenty of New Agers and their silly woo bullshit, and they are usually the first to just block you. You know, I talk to like pastors and stuff from churches and stuff. They'll answer your questions sometimes more honestly than the average person.
Well, here's the thing: if you do some investigating my channel, I don't come on here and tell you guys, hey, I know God is real, so just believe me. Or hey, the Bible says. It kind
of sounds like that.
No, that's why I.
That's how you arrived at your position.
That's how I arrived at my position.
Confirmation bias.
That's how I do my position. But I also can, if I wanted to, and I have, I can when I'm dealing with thoughts, I can also use my reasoning, which I have at times, to dispel thoughts going through my head of doubt. So again,
doubt is a good thing, don't you think?
If I wanted to use reasoning, I could.
Do you think doubt is a positive thing?
Well, what if you doubted that you had a cell phone?
Well, no. I'm talking about doubt is within reason. Like it should be used to like it's a good tool to have.
It's a good tool to if you experience doubt, you can experience research, and
If someone says, "Hey, oh, your mom has cancer. I'm going to sell you this bottle of snake oil. Just give her this. It'll only cost $1 million, but she'll be cured. I guarantee it."
yeah,
It's
doubt
good to doubt that, isn't it?
doubt is a tool, but the problem with a lot of people with their doubt is they don't know how to do research. I can look at liberal.
Well,
It's funny. I can look at like left wing stuff, and I'm not quick to believe it. But a lot of people don't look at both sides. You see a lot of deconverts. They don't look at both sides. They look at one side. They come across Bar Newman. They don't look at the other side. They don't learn philosophy. They don't look at the other side. They look at one side. I can examine both sides.
I can tell that you're really you're I admire that. That's good. I appreciate
So
that. That
so
you're actually willing to listen to both sides. You're willing to have conversations with people, and you've been nice to me so far. So I don't have any complaints as far as that goes. You seem like a nice kid. Hopefully, I've been the same to you, right?
and let me dispense with Bart Ehrman. Bart Ehrman.
Bart Ehrman.
Bart
You really
Ehrman
don't like Bart Ehrman, do you?
Bart Ehrman gave a dishonest case for what we did in the Gospels. He gave one side.
Oh
One
man, yeah, but how many Christians can we name that are dishonest?
Well, haven't I also given both? I've given both sides.
I mean, I just think of someone like Lee Strobel. You know, that guy is the most dishonest quack around.
I mean, what does he say? That was dishonest.
What does Lee Strobel say? He said he was an atheist that became a Christian because he went and, he wrote that book called The Case for Christ or whatever, right? But he went out and all 12 or 13 of his sources for the book were all Christians. So he used biased sources. He's an investigative journalist and a lawyer. And he was like, "Oh, I need to disprove that the resurrection happened." And I'm like, "No, so you're a lawyer that misplaces the burden of proof, and you're an investigative reporter that only uses Christian sources when he's investigating the topic."
Well, if you watch the movie, I watched the movie. I don't watch secular movies, but I mean, I thought about
You don't watch secular movies? Is that what you said?
like worldly, like sinful movies.
Really? You're like boxing yourself up, man? You're
No,
sheltering yourself?
I follow the Bible. I follow holiness and righteousness.
Really? So you are sheltering yourself like that? You
No,
don't watch movies?
I don't really have to. I know I watch movies. Like I've watched like Christian movies. Like I've watched
That's it?
for Christ. When I didn't watch movies at all, I didn't really have a desire to watch movies. Like
That's crazy.
No, I have
Dude.
I don't really have a desire to watch movies. Plus I have
Now I'm beginning to question your I'm willing to look at both sides kind of thing, and because it sounds like you're just kind of living a little bubble.
No, okay. No,
I mean, I don't know. Okay. It's fine if you don't want to watch movies. That's fine. I'm not.
No, I watch movies, but I don't watch sexual.
Yeah, you don't watch. You only watch Christian movies. I got it.
Yeah, I mean, I've thought about watching The Matrix just to see what that whole thing is about, but I looked at the ratings. But I could.
Dude, I think that is more interesting that you're willing to limit your intake of like cinema.
No, I don't have a desire to. I have.
Do you read books other than the Bible or Christian books?
I mean, I watch YouTube videos, but I mean, let me give examples. I know both sides. Bart Ehrman says that the Gospels were dated like hundreds of years after
most of them are.
after Christ. But he did not give the other side where it says the gospel can be dated like as early as 30 AD. He didn't give that side. He gave one side. But watch me in the debate. I would tell you both sides, and then I will make a case.
No, he usually gives like a time frame. He usually says between this age and that age. I know Bart Ehrman. He's smarter than that. He wouldn't just be like, "This is when it came out, and it wasn't any time before that." He might, if he has a definitive way of determining that. I'm sure he could demonstrate it.
Have you?
I don't think he would make claims that he can't back up. He's pretty scholarly.
Have you watched James White's replies to Bart
Ehrman? Their debate.
Yeah, there was a debate with him about Ehrman.
Yeah, I think I watched it like once a long time ago.
James White is pretty good.
James White, the fucking isn't he the James White? Isn't he the like weird, like crazy dude?
James White is the Calvinist. He's the apologist.
Yeah, isn't he the dude that like tried to kill his dad?
No, that's David Wood.
Oh, okay, sorry.
James White is he's a pretty good source. He knows philosophy.
Well, I mean, I grew up in a town where the Calvinists pretty much come from. Oh, I know who James White is. Yeah.
James White is pretty good. You can trust him.
All right.
He's one that really esteems using good argumentation, not using like emotional stuff. So he actually is like, when he wants to debate a Muslim, he actually read the Quran and stuff. So he's actually pretty honest with his argumentation.
I don't know. I don't even bother with people's holy books. I have no desire to debate holy books. It's like, give me a reason to take the holy book seriously in the first place.
Well, it's good that you subscribe to the channel.
You know what I mean? Like, I've read the Bible. I'm not convinced by it.
Well, hopefully I can plant some seeds in you. So historically, I mean, I'll make.
Well, I'm trying to do the same. I just want to plant seeds of doubt.
Yeah, and you can plant you can try to plant your seeds in me in a bait form, and I'll come.
Well, you're young. You got lots of time. Go watch a real movie.
Well,
I'm gonna make you a list of like good iconic films that you should watch that are not terrible. You know what I mean?
Well, I understand this. I have a. Not only do I not desire to watch movies, I mean, I have like an expensive taste in movies. So only movie I've one of the movies I've liked is A Case of Christ. It was a good quality. I like God's Not Dead, but
I don't. Those are terrible movies.
Well, we have terrible. No, I bet if we go to like a different culture, we'll ask what movies they like.
Those movies are not honest in any way.
No, it depends on perception.
Like, Lee Strobel's a liar.
Well, I would say that's an ad hominem.
I know he's a liar, dude. He's so full of it. He's in it for the money, dude. You know how much money that guy makes? Holy crap.
Well, I'm not in it for the money. I'm about to get a job.
Well, I know you're not, but you should. Oh, man. And the God Not Dead, the ultimate straw man against atheists.
Well, if you
he was never even an atheist. He was.
Well, I wouldn't want to use an ad hominem. I wouldn't. There are people that say Kent Hovind was never a doctor. Doesn't matter what he never doctor.
Kent Hovind isn't a doctor. He got his PhD from a paper mill. I can order one.
But yeah, that's a fallacy because it doesn't matter if he's a doctor or not.
He didn't write any papers, dude.
No, I don't care whether he's a doctor or not. That's my point.
He's not.
I don't care.
I've met Kent Hovind multiple times. I met him probably. I've seen him in person probably 20 different times.
I've talked to him over the phone.
I called him a liar the other day. I was like, "Yeah, you're dishonest. I know you're dishonest." He knows he's dishonest too. He's the convicted fraud.
Well, me and him had disagreements on the gospel.
When I met him when I was a kid, when I was probably like 10, 11, something like that. Maybe 12. I guess I was about 12. So a young adult, I guess. But I knew as soon as I met him, I knew he was just a liar. Lying about science, making shit up, misrepresenting things.
Well,
I mean, if there isn't a more obvious scam artist out there than Kent Hovind, I don't, dude, if you're falling for his shtick, then
again, I've been used better. I as you can see, if you watch my debate forum videos, I'm philosophical. I could use Ken Hovind if I wanted to, but I don't have to. I've actually called him and gave him tips on how to talk to English.
well, I just don't like how
If
he's so weaselly, Kent Hovind is.
If Ken Hovind will start using what I said to him, he would really stop something.
You know what Kent Hovind's problem is he doesn't have any skills other than being a apologist. So he can't go get a real job. Who would hire him?
But I wouldn't want to just.
I don't think he believes his own shtick anymore. I don't think he believes it.
Well, I wouldn't want to like poison the well or commit that harm.
I'm just saying, I've known him for like 30 years now almost, and he doesn't come across as intellectually honest to me anymore at all. Like, he's been corrected so many times on so many things, and he just repeats the same mistakes over and over again, even though he knows it's wrong. Like his whole, like, you believe you came from a rock, blah, 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 you know?
Well, I explained the Gauss engineer. I talked to the Gauss engineer.
Yeah, I remember that too, yeah.
I know I talked to him in private. I wasn't that good as I am now. He is not receiving a debate challenge from me now. I've tried. I would say he won't be that good. If I really go deep with him in philosophy and really start to nudge at him.
I mean, look, I think you're going to have way more. You're going to be way more effective with people if you're trying to talk to them rather than debate. You know what I mean?
Well, we can talk, debate.
You know what I mean, though? Like, I just don't get so hung up on debating. You seem to be like, oh, I can prove them wrong. It's like, well, maybe in your eyes you can, you know?
Well, if you get my point of view is this, that if I can take on some of the smartest people and show them to be fallacious, it would plant seeds in other atheists of doubt.
But you're not doing that though. You're just making yourself kind of look silly.
Well, just go ahead and watch my video on whipping atheism apart.
Okay, I'll watch it.
A response to Dan Barker, and watch how I went philosophy on that video. And I've also offered a response challenge to On Rod, the Theologian Challenge, called the Philosophical Challenge. I had people trying to answer that.
The Philosophical Challenge?
It's called the Philosophical Challenge.
All right.
You go ahead and
I'll check it out.
see if you can answer that.
Okay. I'll see if it even makes... I mean, I'll have to take a look at it. All right, Bray. Yeah, I'm going to head out, man. It was good talking to you. Nice meeting you.
Yeah, and hey, if you wanna test my knowledge, then just offer I'll do a Q&A, and just I'll answer any question, anything I'm knowledgeable on.
Sure.
I'll answer your objections, and so just to test me, just see I'm not like
Okay.
some joke.
All right. Yeah. Maybe we'll see if we can do this again maybe sometime.
Okay.
All right.
Have a good day.
You too, man. Bye.
No. 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 What? What? No. We're when I'm debating atheists, I really don't want you to comment on stuff. I don't want to appear as insane to the viewers. So hopefully that would delete your thing. Okay. I didn't just have to hide the comments. I just want to clarify, you guys. That would just anybody else can come in and talk to me. I want to clarify to you guys that I don't desire to watch world videos. Yeah, I don't desire. I'm a new creature. It's not that I'm boxing myself in. I was fine with not watching a movie ever again. When I was just not gonna watch a movie ever again. I was fine with it. I was fine. I was fine with not listening to basically any music ever again. I was still at peace. So it's not like I'm just boxing myself in. I'm at peace. And so anybody want to come in? The challenge is open again. Okay, I want people also to understand my purpose is not that I'm just some debater wanting to debate. I just want it's evangelism. I'm wanting to show you guys how foolish the things you say are, and then that will plant seeds in you that make you think by the Spirit of God, quickening your reasoning, quickening doubt in your mind. So that's my that's why I'm debating, because that's what I'm doing. And there's the link again. And I want to cover this. Well, let's say the New Testament was written later on. Does that prove the New Testament narrative? Well, let's say I got a document. Let's say something happened. Let's say a school shooting happened, and I went down this document, writing about what happened. And let's say it took me years, because I was busy with work and so on. And let's say I got it done years later, decades later. Does that disprove the reliability of that document? No, because it took time to write. You know how long with the material they had back then, it could take you to write. So even if the Gospels were dated, even if what they were not, the evidence doesn't give that narrative. Even if the Gospels were dated years later, that doesn't disprove the Gospels initially. Now that does leave a hole, some questions to be asked if that was so, which is not. The Gospels can be dated as early as like 30, 40 AD. according to the church fathers. And since we already have archaeological and historical and statistical reliability from the New Testament, thus we would go with the narrative that is more plausible considering the evidence we have, which would make it more reliable, since that's the narrative we get by the evidence we have. Considering the New Testament said to be dated 5,000 copies over a vast period of time, more reliable than Plato, which we admit he existed, and Tiberius Caesar. We got 10 sources for Caesar, we got 41 sources for Jesus Christ. I don't care who. We need to stop using ad hoc. Like, but let's say Onwell was a Satanist, which he looks like one. Let's say that. That wouldn't be an argument to really disqualify what he says. Okay? You can't use. I mean, theologically I can use that, but philosophically, no, I cannot use that. Could I prove? No. Could I prove a bias? Of course, but still, I would have to deal with what he brings forth. That doesn't totally disqualify if what he's saying is false or not philosophically. So I must be honest with what the evidence he brings forth and the things he brings forth, and deal with them. We can't poison the well. We have to watch out using ad homs. That's not good argumentation. And I'm telling you, if anybody notices me using a fallacy in my arguments, theology is different. Theology is more spiritual. But with an atheist, anybody notices me using a fallacy in my arguments, then let me know. Comment below discussion. So you just use this fallacy. So okay. Anybody that Dad, I did have a discussion with him. Well, no, we had a talk. We didn't have a discussion. We didn't have a debate. We had a talk. He wasn't looking to debate. So if anyone wants to come on here and talk, the link is in the chat box. Click on it and hop on. And listen. If you want to just have a civil conversation, we can do that. If you want to have a debate, we can do that. It all depends on you. We can just have a civil conversation so you can feel out my personality, and you can feel out, who I am. If you want to, you can ask me questions. It's up to you. And that was a faulty argument. Listen, just because I have a different flavor, and no, let me clarify. I don't just not watch worldly movies because of my race. I actually don't want to do it. I don't want to sin against God. Let me give you an example. Let's say your morality was that you're not supposed to rape. But you have this woman over here. You're really aroused, and it would really feel good if you would just rape her. You'd rape her. Is that that's a poor example, but is that boxing you in? Just because you have a law that you desirably adhere to, is that boxing you in? No, that's keeping a law, an inward law. Just because I follow a law, we follow a law of society. Don't steal, don't kill, don't rape. And hey, if you want to offer, if you want to be really say that the law That's really the argument. The law enslaves people. Then go ahead and petition here and petition and come on here and tell me we should just be able to do whatever we want. Want to kill somebody, kill somebody. Want to rape somebody, rape somebody. There's reasons. There's reasons why God says not to do something. He's a reasonable God. I give reasons on my channel. There's reasons why he does stuff. You think he's just some tyrant that just says not to do something? Oh, there's reason. And we can see the reasons through philosophy. You may have said that. But we can see we can see the reasons why. You may say. You know what? It would be we would just be emotional and just want to just be free and not be boxed in. When you feel like you're angry, might as well just go knock someone's lights out every single time. Go punch someone's face in. But no, there are rules. There's a law. And forgive my my speech impediment, but there is a law, and there is reasons. Hold on. Let me close my door. Hold on. Just so you know, we ended up having a talk. He did not expect to take my challenge and debate. We had a talk. Hopefully, I can plant some seeds into him. But let me cover this whole thing again. Again, I'll put this in the title of this video. I'm doing a video. If you want to join, you can join.
What?
I'm doing a video. I'll call you back later. Let's cover the same. Well, you know, religion just boxes you in. It just tells you not to do stuff. We have a law too. You know, it'd be pretty free and easy. I made it one earlier. It'd be pretty if we just wanted to not be boxed and enslaved. You know, when you feel angry, it would be kind of nice, kind of easier if you could just go punch someone's lights out. But no, we don't do that because there's reasons. There's reasons. One, by our conscience, we know that is wrong. Two, it would create a chaotic society if we just live out of our emotions. And emotions and desires are not initially the basis for truth or reason. Emotion leads people into bad relationships, staying in an abusive home. So emotion is wanting or desire is not really a basis, a ground for reason. So enough with this whole religion enslaves thing. The concept of that is the law behind what you call religion and slaves. If we want to be serious and want to be non-hypocritical about that, the law we have in today's society in America and other countries enslaved. It'd be pretty, you feel enraged sometimes, you gotta hold it in. Pretty easy to just go batter somebody, wouldn't it? I'm not saying I don't feel like that, but to give you a point. So it doesn't enslave people, but there is a law consciously and beneficially that we adhere to sociologically live in a peaceful society because we know it's wrong and because we don't want to live like narcissistic jerks. There's more than one reasons why there's a law, and the law doesn't enslave people. It brings about order and reason and not just simply emotion. So enough. No more will someone make that argument that religion just boxes you in. It doesn't just box you in. It can. It can. If your desires are not changed to keep the law of God, you are living another life, because in one end you really want to sin, and another end living in temptation and actually just wanting to be a sinner. Now that you're not living when you are not doing what you want to do out of fear of hell, not because you've been changed. So religion can be binding, but when God changed your heart, it makes you more adhered to not wanting to sin. That is not slavery. That's just living out your nature. Just like, for example, let's say you've fed a lot of pizza in your life. And since you fed a lot of pizza, but let's say they're limited to food supplies, and you have certain types of food, pizza, pasta, but you like the pizza, pasta. Does that limitation mean you're enslaved, or since you're more keen towards it, you're actually living out your desire? It's not slavery, but you're actually living out your volition. You're actually living out your will. If you're living out your will, you will be boxed in according to logical limitations, according to your sociological background, but you're still living out your will. Like when it comes to me not walking in sin, I'm more living out my will. Am I tempted? Yes. Are you tempted sometimes to knock someone's lights out when you're angry as an atheist? A lot of you are. Does that mean you're boxed in? No. You're adhering to logic, the sociological, the philosophy behind sociology and so on. You're adhering to reason and not your emotions. Emotion creates chaos and creates bad things happening. Does anyone want to ask any questions while I'm on? Again, I had a discussion. I had a talk. He didn't want to have a discussion. He didn't want to have a debate. I had a talk with him. Hopefully we're going to do it again. I'm able to really ask questions. I do open Hangouts, so he's open. He's available anytime. I do an open Hangout. Any questions you want to ask, I recommend if you want to hear. Give me a second. So if you're not wanting, I recommend if you watch this video and not subscribe, you subscribe, you hit the bell, and watch upcoming videos. Guys, be blessed. I love you guys. In the name of, be blessed, guys, if you're a Christian. Be blessed in the name of Jesus Christ. I love you guys. I love you. The atheists, I love you guys. The Muslims, I love you guys. But And I say have a wonderful day to all you guys. Be blessed in the name of Jesus Christ. Bye. And I want to let you know that my attitude towards you guys is not because of my personality. I was very selfish as a sinner, and I was narcissistic, selfish, self-centered, self-ambition. Me. I was conditional love. You do me right, I do you right. You buy me something, we'll hang out. You entertain me, you appease me, then we'll hang out. You know? You appease some of my emotion, we'll hang out. That's what I was as a sinner. I wasn't so loving. I was a nice kid, but I was conditional in my love. And so this, what you see here, is the testimony of what Christ did to a narcissistic, selfish person. This is a testimony of Christ did. Family sees it. And while my mom still wants to hold on to me being selfish, even though I almost daily, demonstrate my selfishness. You know, I would when I was a sinner, I would love to drink all the cider and all the drinks and eat all the brownies, but I actually saved some people. So no, but there's definitely the change. Whether she wants to see it or not doesn't matter. But so I recommend if you are first viewing the channel, you subscribe and hit the bell. Be blessed, guys. I love you guys in the name of Jesus Christ. If you ever want to have a conversation with me, you are welcome to as well. Be blessed, guys. I love you guys in the name of Jesus Christ. Be blessed, guys. I love you guys in the name of Jesus Christ. Bye.